everyone and thanks for joining us. This is Amhara Media Corporation, Amhara TV News. With the news, I'm Gaila Damu. Stay tuned. Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed warned yesterday forces that have little regard for the sovereignty and independent decisions of countries in the region and interfere in the internal affairs of the nation to refrain from their acts. In this message written in Arabic to the people of Sudan, the Premier stated Sudanese indigenous knowledge and practices are sufficient enough to uphold the bright future of the Sudanese people by respecting the values of the Constitution and realizing the Juba Peace Agreement. According to him, the government and people of Ethiopia are closely following the situation in Sudan, and this is a result of the long-standing bondage between the two people. Furthermore, Abiy elaborated it is derived from the common destiny of the two people and shared history of the Nile civilization and the values of tolerance. The Premier recalled that it is worth remembering that during the difficult period in Sudan's history, Ethiopia has fulfilled its historic responsibility by working with the African Union to bridge the gap between the military and the civilian administration and played a role in accordance with the Constitution. He said that at this time, Ethiopia expresses its belief and hope that there is a way out of this situation. Therefore, the Premier stated that Ethiopia reaffirms its full support for the people of Sudan at a time when the Horn of Africa as a whole is facing challenges and the challenges are rising. National Disaster Risk Management Commission said it has allowed partners to take over 346 million birr cash for Tigray for humanitarian operations and administration during the past 11 months. Abebe Burhani reports.
Commission Public Relations Director Debebe Zewde told Ethiopian news agency that the partner organizations also deployed 1,111 trucks to transport humanitarian cargoes from Samara to Mekelle, the regional capital, but only 242 trucks returned. According to the director, about 28,268 metric tons of food and 6,111 metric tons of nutrition were transported to the region. Furthermore, he revealed that 300,000 liters of fuel were transported to the region. Debebe affirmed that the government's commitment to unfettered access for humanitarian assistance in the region, with measures such as reduced checkpoints and continued humanitarian flights to Tigray region.
46 partneሮች እዛ ይንቀሳቀሳሉ 46 partneሮች ስንል ድጋፍ ሰጪዎች ማለታችን ነው
46 supportive partners have been working there and we also have been given these partners administrative support and we have sent close to 350 million birr to Mekelle so as to facilitate the activity of these partners. This support has been approved by the National Disaster Risk Management Commission. Apart from this, 1,111 UN trucks that transport humanitarian support have been sent to Mekelle. However, of these trucks, only 242 returned.
1111 እህል የጫኑ ሌሎችም ነገሮች የጫኑ ትራኮች ወደ መቀሌ ገብተዋል። ከነዚህ ውስጥ የተመለሱት እስካሁን 242 ብቻ ናቸው።
Notwithstanding this, the terrorist group TPLF has invaded the neighboring Amhara and Afar regions, displacing hundreds of thousands of people and blocking aid from reaching the occupied territories. Speaking on the people displaced in Amhara region, he elaborated the number of displaced people is increasing from time to time following the attacks and incursion of the terrorist TPLF. The number of displaced people from Amhara, North Wollo, South Wollo, South Gondar and North Gondar zone of Amhara region has jumped over 945,000. The federal government has been providing assistance for those in need and so far 122,844 quintals of grain is delivered to the area in the collaboration with international partners. However, the support is not enough, the director stressed. calling on the international community to provide humanitarian assistance for affected citizens displaced by the invasion of the terrorist TPLF. Similarly, the government has been providing support for people displaced in the Afar region. About 265,000 people are affected by the attacks of the terrorist TPLF and 76,000 are being supported at the IDP level.
ገፋ ብሎ የታየው በአማራ ክልል ያለው ተረጂ ነው almost በአሁን ሰዓት 945,000 በላይ ደርሷል.
Most of the displaced people are from Amhara region. There are more than 945,000. These displaced people are from North Wollo, South Wollo, North Gondar and South Gondar zone. These displaced people are now being supported by the government.
ድጋፉ በመንግስት ደረጃ ይሰጣል.
Debebe further noted that emergency response coordination centers are being set up in the affected areas of the two regions to deal with the situation of IDPs information and related issues. It is to be recalled that the terrorist group has been replicating its failure to safeguard the well-being of the people of Tigray by attacking the inhabitants of Amhara and Afar regions. Reports of extrajudicial killings and damage to properties in invaded areas have reached unprecedented levels. The number of displaced people who need humanitarian assistance in the occupied areas has also dramatically increased.
Leaders of four contending political parties have called on the government to intensify airstrikes on weapons repair factories and training centers that the terrorist TPLF uses to prolong the war it triggered. Brown Work and Atil Sasmore.
Leaders of the Ethiopian People's Revolutionary Party, Amhara Democratic Forces Movement, Oromo Liberation Movement, and Hidasi Party said they staunchly stand for the sovereignty and unity of the country. Ethiopian People's Revolutionary Party Public Relations Head Abraham Haimano said his party supports the strike of the government on TPLF strategic areas. He added that the measures would help to end the war in a short period of time and such efforts need to be continued.
ፓርቲያችን ሰሞኑን መንግስት እየወሰደ ያለውን ነገር በጣም እንደግፋለን.
Our party is very supportive of what the government is doing right now. We are monitoring the situation, including the measures taken on strategic locations of TPLF training centers and the Almeda textile factory that has been producing military uniforms by the terrorist group as disguises. We support this. The demolition of more major bases is also crucial to end the war because the air support will enable the ground troops to easily destroy the TPLF.
በጣም ጥሩ ነው እንደግፈዋለን.
Oromo Liberation Movement Chairman Dereje Bekele said the terrorist group is committing inhuman acts in Amhara and Afar regions, even if the government earlier declared unilateral ceasefire and withdrew its troops from Tigray region.
የኛ መከላከያ ሰራዊቱ ማድረግ ያለበት ወደፊት ሄዶ በጦርነቱ ቶሎ እንዲቋጭ ነው.
The National Defense Force must use all means and end the war as soon as possible. The desire of our party is to see a lasting peace. If we manage to bring peace, we can effectively engage in development activities.
ወደ ልማቱ እንመለሳለን ማለት ነው. ልማት ስራችን እንቀጥላለን.
According to him, it is unacceptable for Westerners to side with a group designated as a terrorist group while an elected government is in place. The chairman stresses that it is therefore appropriate for the government to reject attempts of foreign forces to intervene in the country's internal affairs to promote their interests. Amhara Democratic Force Movement organizational head Raswork Malaku said on his part, the terrorist group has been working to disintegrate the country. He revealed that members of his party are fighting alongside the invaded Amhara people to rout out the terrorist group TPLF from the region.
ህወሓት ኢትዮጵያን ብቻ ሳይሆን መላ አፍሪካን እንደሸጠ ድርጅት አይተን ነው ስንታገለው የኖርንም የምንታገለው.
We have seen that the TPLF betrayed not only Ethiopia but also the whole of Africa. Therefore, we will expose the conspiracy of the group at every opportunity and make governments around the world become aware of the Western conspiracy. We will also support the government to end the war.
ጦርነቱን መጨረስ አለበት ብለን እናምናለን ለዚህም ድጋፍ እናደርጋለን
According to him, the silence of the international community while atrocities are being committed in Amhara and Afar regions is part of the conspiracy of some Western countries and organizations that collaborate with the terrorist group to destroy Ethiopia. The Dase Party Secretary General Surafel Shetu called on all parties to work together to wipe out the terrorist group by strengthening the sovereignty of the country. We must work together to bury this junta once and for all. We must use all our forces in the same way that the terrorist TPLF is using and speed up the offensive.
You're watching Amhara Media Corporation, Amhara TV News. Stay tuned. The government of Japan and the Ministry of Health jointly organized the handover ceremony of 100 syringe pumps and portable X-ray machines to be installed to hospitals and medical universities of 10 regions and Addis Ababa and Redwa city administrations. Abba Brahani reports.
The two sides signed yesterday an exchange of notes for the grant aid for the procurement of health and medical equipment, which was $13.6 million. In Ethiopia, the COVID-19 has been spreading and there is an urgent need for Ethiopia to strengthen its health spread. The need to minimize the pandemic's negative impact on the economy was stressed during the occasion. Japanese ambassador to Ethiopia, Aito Takako, expressed her hope that the equipment handed over yesterday will contribute to further enhancing measures for the fight against infectious diseases in Ethiopia, including COVID-19, and strengthening the healthcare system. Ambassador Aito added that the health sector is one of the Japanese priorities in terms of support for Ethiopia, and as a friend of this great country, it is their pleasure to be able to contribute to the health and well-being of the Ethiopian people. Concluding her remarks, Ambassador Aito hoped that this handover ceremony will be another opportunity to further deepen friendship between the people of Japan and Ethiopia. This handover of medical equipment is a continuation of the August 2019 Yokohama TCAD 7 commitments to expand universal health coverage and the African Health and Well-being initiatives.
Information Network Security Agency said political parties should work on cybersecurity as an agenda to prevent the increasing number of cyber attack attempts at national level. Ababa Brahani has the details.
This was disclosed during a day-long training organized to opposition political party leaders as part of the month-long awareness creation program on the issue of cybersecurity. The training covered the nature of cyberspace, cyber criminals, vulnerabilities to cyber attacks, the interest of cyber attackers and ways to prevent it. Cybersecurity is a good opportunity for political parties to easily reach out to their supporters, but it has also had negative effects if it is not adequately managed. It was indicated during the occasion that websites, email, social media and other cyber attacks are said to be possible cyber attacks on political parties. Due to these attacks, political parties will face defamation, mistrust, loss of confidentiality, destruction of infrastructure and other impacts. Speaking at the occasion, Deputy Director General of INSA, Yidnekacho Worku, said cyber attacks are on the rise in the world and in Ethiopia as well. He said it is increasing by more than 150% every year, adding that more than 80% of cyber attacks are caused by lack of awareness. He said political parties should work with technology, awareness and practice to protect their organizations and members and work on cybersecurity as an agenda to protect the country from cyber attacks.
ፖለቲካ ድርጅቶች ወይም ፓርቲዎች ቀጣይ ሀገር መሪዎች ናቸው። ስለዚህ ሳይበር ሴኩሪቲን እንደ ሀገር አጀንዳ ማድረግ በዋናነት
as contending political parties are the next leaders of the country, making cybersecurity as a national agenda should be their primary job. And discussing with you on this issue is crucial in this regard.
ከነዚህ ሁለት አንግሎች አንፃር ከእናንተ ጋር ይህን ውይይት ማድረግ በጣም ትልቅ ጥቅም ይኖረዋል።
Political party leaders who participated in the training for their part said that they have gained an understanding of cybersecurity and its impact on the country. The training was organized as part of the ongoing month-long awareness creation program organized by INSA with a view to enhancing the national cybersecurity protection capability. Workshops, exhibitions and panel discussions are also part of the month-long cybersecurity awareness creation program. It was learned that Ethiopia has encountered some 2,800 cyber attack attempts during the last Ethiopian fiscal year.
You're watching Amhara Media Corporation, Amhara TV News, and now let's take a look at the foreign exchange rate and karat rate. That's all the news we have for today. I am Gaila Damu. Many thanks for watching and stay tuned with the rest of our programs.